morning, Michael Walsh here. Welcome to Norwal Farm. The sun's actually starting to come out now. It's cooled off a lot. If you look over here, you can see the difference where the shed is between what was and what is. So it's soaked down pretty good. So hopefully we got a nice soaking rain. 3 weeks since we've had any rain here. We're getting into a drought situation. So this is a very welcomed change in the weather. It's about 65 degrees today. And we're going to go check Heidi and Joel up in their paddock, and we'll go check the ladies and the dogs down there in their paddock. This is the area around the paddock where we had sown the pasture mix earlier. There's some alfalfa in here, a couple clovers, and several grasses, some chicory, and some plantain. And if you look really close, that's our seed coming up. Out here with the new seedlings, and you can see there's a little grass right there. You can see it. The grasses are starting up, so I'm really encouraged. This was a wonderful rain we got today. We're up here at the hill pasture, or the side pasture. It's on the side of the hayfield. Out there's the hayfield. This is an area where they didn't farm because it's probably rocky, and number two, it just would erode a lot, so they just kind of let it go up in grass. So we trimmed a lot of the brush out and branches back. So Heidi and Joel came up here yesterday, and looks like they're doing well. They got a little shower this morning as well, but they're doing fine. Their water is over there behind the trees, and the mineral feeder, that little black thing, is right there. So they'll probably be in this paddock at least 2 days, probably 3, because there's a lot of grass here for just the two of them, and we'll let them work on that for a while. And then we'll shift them, I don't know, we'll probably shift them over because the water tank's closed and we can just move that. And then once they're done there, we'll shift them up to that one. So I'm hoping to get 9 or 10 days grazing off of this patch. And then we may then move them on up to the north field. There's a lot up there, but we'll see. Copper, you're gonna get zapped. And Heidi doesn't like dogs. She's kind of alerting on him. Gonna chase him away. That's good to see. Anyway, they're doing well. One of my tasks today is to gather this up. It's the poly rope, poly cord. We'll gather those posts up. That's from what we took down yesterday. But you can see the difference in the two paddocks. They've been off this one now about 4 days. And this is the one we just took them off of yesterday. So you can see the difference in the growth, and that's the idea. It gives the paddock a chance to recover, and gets them onto fresh paddock, and helps decrease the worm burden and helps improve the soils. Garrett and Dylan will get their heartworm medication today. They're puppies, so didn't need to test those because they would have tested negative anyway. And Lily is older. We'll have to catch her and heartworm test her before we can do anything. She doesn't like to be caught, so we'll use the injectable year-round heartworm on her once we're sure that she's negative on heartworms. So anyway, it must have rained pretty good because Lily's all soaked, and so were the pups, and the goats are kind of wet. So that's good. They probably enjoyed the little shower and cooled everything off. Like I said, it's 65 degrees here and really nice. One thing you have to watch for with the rain is the dog food. And as you can see, those lighter pieces, it's gotten wet. So I dumped it all out. The goats will eat it. It's not going to hurt them. And we'll get some dry and fill the bucket back up. Because if you leave wet dog food, then the flies lay eggs, and then it spoils and gets rancid, and they won't eat it. So they're going to pick and choose through this. And we've got the dog feeder ordered. It should arrive this week. It'll hold 50 pounds. It's waterproof. Has a magnetic door that they learn to open the door. Keeps the other critters out of it, and it'll protect it from the rain. So once we get that, it'll be a good thing. Gonna give them their heartworm now. They're both eating some of the food there. Garrett likes his heartworm. It's Heartgard Plus, and usually they eat it right down. He eats it, but Dylan not too keen on it yet, so I had to peel him. It wasn't hard. Just kind of open his mouth and push it to the back, and he swallowed it down. But everybody seems good this morning. Great to see the rain. They're a little wet, but they'll enjoy that. Just cleaned out the water tank. We'll bit down, like we said before, we've got a lot of iron content, so get some sediment and have to clean that out every day. Goats are doing well. They're over there rubbing on their rock. We're down here at the Miller pasture. There's a small gate there where you just came through. I had mowed this before in anticipation of grazing it. You can see how much it's grown up. So we're gonna mow it again. Really like the DR mower. It's self-propelled. It's designed to go through tall grass, and it'll actually trim saplings up to 2 inches in diameter. There's a strip I just came down the hill, and it was as tall as this. And then you can see my first strip across the base of the plateau. So I'm going to go all the way back when it turns and go back up the hill, and then we'll finish the strips coming down. Set some posts here, down the far strip over there, and then also down here. You can see the blue posts go down the line. And we've got the poly braid, those 2 white reels there. We're going to string that up, have that ready. Then when we're ready to move the goats, all we have to do is take the super fence 2 down and string it across the bottom there. So let's get to it. Finished stringing the poly tape, and I've got to connect it to the hot wires here. 2 strands, one low and one higher. They're all trained to that. You can see it runs all the way down to the end. And I did the same thing over at the other post over there. Yeah, you can see the white spool right there. And it goes down too. And then across the bottom we'll put the super fence 2 when we're ready. I like this on the slopes. It's easier to adjust for the height. You can see here, the post down there is 1 notch lower than it is here, and that adjusts for the uneven ground. So it's much easier to do that. It takes a little longer to set up, but overall I like it better. So anyway, I got to get 2 more posts and brace it at the end to keep it tight, and then when we're ready to shift them, we'll take down the super fence 2 and put it across the end. You can see how this top line is sagging. So I drove a post in there. That's an old garden hose. Actually, it was a new one, but it fell and I ran over it with the mower, so I couldn't use it. But I'm repurposing it. I'm going to use that to tie the post. So anyway, this post here, we'll just stretch this up and make that tight and tie it to this post. And that should do the trick. So there it is once I tied it, and you can see those strings are nice and taut, not sagging, and it's a good visual. The poly rope shows up really well, so it's a visual reminder, and then also it's a psychological and a physical barrier. If they touch it, they get a little zap. So it's a 3-way barrier for them: visual, psychological, and physical. That old hose is actually good material because it's a plastic, like polyethylene tube inside this outer coating. You can see that. So I don't think it's going to conduct electricity, which that's not touching anything hot right now anyway. But the color it shows up, you can see down there where the other one is. And then this line goes up there. So we've got a, not quite rectangular, it's a little wider than it is at the bottom than it is at the top. But then we will put the super fence 2 here and string it all along. You can see where that path goes well beyond the next fence. So there's at least one, I think 1 more paddock that will be able to graze. So Anyway, we're all set to go. Once we're finished up there, we'll get the super fence too, put it down here, and we'll be good to go. Thanks for joining us today. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the little notification bell to remind of any new videos, and hit the like button on the videos if you like them. That helps our video channel more than you can do. So have a great day, and join us again next time on Norwal Farm.